Hello students, so in this video let's complete July month complete economy current affairs. The first topic is National Multidimensional Poverty Index MPI. So here under multidimensional poverty, when an individual cannot spend on proper health, education, standard of living like drinking water, house, electricity, etc., then that person is said to be under multidimensional poverty. That means the poverty from all directions. You don't have proper education, proper nutrition, proper house, proper electricity. So for all this, when the poverty is said to be multidimensional, then it is called multidimensional poverty. So to measure multidimensional poverty, Alcaire Foster methodology is used. Okay, Alcaire Foster methodology is used for measuring multidimensional poverty. So after calculating in this Alcaire Foster methodology, if the score exceeds or is equal to 33.33%, then those individuals are categorized into the multidimensional poverty. So for calculating the multidimensional poverty index, they take 12 indicators. Okay, so those 12 indicators are nutrition. So under health it is nutrition, child and adolescents mortality, maternal health. And under education it is year of schooling, school attendance, cooking fuel, sanitation, drinking water, electricity, housing, assets, bank account. So all these are the 12 indicators of the multidimensional poverty index. Okay, so here recently so all these are the 12 indicators for measuring the multidimensional poverty index. So here one important thing to note down is they do not consider the per capita income, literacy rate and life expectancy as the indicators of multidimensional poverty index. Okay, per capita income, literacy rate, life expectancy are not included as indicators. So this was in news because recently, based on the National Family Health Survey 5 of 2019 and 21, Niti Aayog has released the second edition of National Multidimensional Poverty Index. So as per the report, Bihar, Jharkhand, Uttar Pradesh, Meghalaya and Madhya Pradesh. So all these four states, five states share the highest multidimensional poverty. So this five states, Bihar, Jharkhand, Uttar Pradesh, Meghalaya and Madhya Pradesh, the poverty is like they are top in the multidimensional poverty. Okay, and Kerala has the lowest share of multidimensional poverty persons. So Kerala is like a heaven. So in education it is first, and in literacy rate it is first. So Kerala is the lowest in the multidimensional poverty people. Okay, so next is this Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha and Rajasthan. These five states have fastest reduction. So these five states here under this one, first point, Bihar, Jharkhand, Uttar Pradesh, Meghalaya, Madhya Pradesh have highest multidimensional poor people, whereas these people from Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha and Rajasthan, the poverty is decreasing at a faster rate. Okay, so this global this one National Multidimensional Poverty Index is released by the Niti Aayog, whereas we have another global multidimensional poverty index. So it was also released recently in 2023. So as per this one, this index is released by the United Nations Development Program, UNDP. So as per this global multidimensional poverty index, around 1.1 billion people out of 6.6 billion people from 110 countries are multidimensionally poor. Nearly 67% of multidimensionally poor are from the middle income countries, and 10% of the remaining multidimensionally poor are from the lower income countries. That means in the middle income countries, the multidimensional poverty is more, that is 67%. And in the lower income countries, the multidimensionally poor people are around 10%. Okay, so this is about the findings in this report. The next topic is goods and service tax, GST. To cut down multiple taxes on goods and services, a single taxation system was introduced by the central government on 1st July 2017 called GST, Goods and Service Tax. So before introducing GST, for a product which is exported from Uttar Pradesh to Karnataka, for example, Uttar Pradesh, Karnataka, and the central government tax is laid on that product. But after introducing this new tax, that is goods and service tax, if we pay GST once, then it is enough. So the GST makes the taxation system simple. So GST is first proposed by the Kelkar Task Force on Indirect Taxes in the year 2000. So it was implemented in the year 2017. Okay, it was proposed by Kelkar Task Force on Indirect Taxes in the year 2000. So this day, the 1st July of 2017, was celebrated as the GST day. Okay, so GST is of three types. One is SGST, CGST, and the other one is IGST. So first type is central GST or CGST. So CGST is the taxes laid down by the central government come under the CGST. Coming to the SGST tax, the second type and the second form of GST, it is state goods and service tax. So under this, the taxes are levied by the state government. So this is called SGST, and the other one is there, that is IGST. So IGST is the integrated goods and service tax. So the taxes levied by the central government and the state government concerned is called IGST. Okay, so the GST Council makes the decisions on various aspects of GST. So the article is 279A. So under Article 279A, GST Council was established. So one important term to learn in this topic is tax buoyancy. Okay, so here the buoyancy is measured based on the tax revenues and GDP. Okay, the tax revenues is the tax collected per year, okay, per a period of time. So the tax collected for a period of time is called tax revenues, and GDP. Based on these two, the tax buoyancy is measured. So if the tax buoyancy rises, then it means the tax revenues are increasing. So generally, if the GDP increase, then the tax revenues for the government also increase. So based on the tax revenues and GDP, the tax buoyancy is measured. So this is about the GST. The next one is online gaming. So online gaming are of two types. One is the game of skill, and the other one is the game of chance. So the game of skill is based on the gaming skills like rummy, cricket, football. All these are the examples of the game of skill. So the game of chance is based on luck, like betting, gambling, horse racing, etc. Lottery, ludo, poker, all these come under the game of chance. So here this topic was in news because 18 before on the game of chance 18% was on the game of skills 18% of GST was laid, but now recently the game of chance is under the 28% of GST. Okay, so recently the GST Council has imposed 28% on online gamings like horse racing and casinos. Okay, so this is about the news. The next one is, so here the online gaming is under the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, but some states have their own laws related to permission within the state government. Okay, so generally the central government monitors the online gaming under the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, but there are some states which also makes their own laws and gives permission within the states. Okay, the next topic is widening tax base. So the tax to GDP ratio means ratio of tax collected compared to the national gross domestic product. Okay, so here the tax to GDP ratio is the ratio of tax collected compared to the national gross domestic product, the national GDP. So in 2023 the tax to GDP ratio is 11.1% in financial year. So here the tax to GDP ratio is the tax revenue collected from the GDP when compared to GDP. That means the tax to GDP ratio is only 11.1%. And in this the direct taxes are 6% and the indirect taxes are only 5.1%. So the tax to GDP ratio is this much low because the agricultural sector will not pay any taxes because almost most of the total population, around 60% of the total population is under the agricultural sector, and the agricultural sector doesn't pay any tax. So due to that reason there is low taxation in India, and there is large informal sector. So even those informal sectors doesn't pay any tax, and there is lack of technical expertise, there is lack of tax litigation. So all these cases, all these are the reasons for the less tax to GDP ratio. Okay, so here due to large informal sector there is no proper income for the people, agricultural tax is exempted, and less effective tax administration. All these are the major reasons for the tax decrease in the tax to GDP ratio. Now this topic was in news because recently Union Finance Minister has asked the Income Tax Department to follow transparency, objectivity and taxpayer friendliness to improve and widen the tax base in India. So look at the box over here. The income tax concept was first introduced by James Wilson in the year 1860. So James Wilson was the first finance minister of British Indian government. Okay, the concept of income tax was introduced by the first finance minister of British Indian government called James Wilson. And coming to the next topic, Jan Vishwas Amendment of Provisions Bill 2023. So this bill aims to improve the ease of living and ease of doing business. So several initiatives are being taken by India to improve the ease of doing business as well as ease of living. So this bill removes all the necessary unwanted laws, penalties, fines, etc. that restricts the ease of doing and ease of living business. Okay, ease of doing business and ease of living. So this bill has removed around 42 criminal laws, and it also removed fines, etc., and removed all the offenses, penalties under the Indian Post Office Act of 1898. So here, when the punishments are reduced, ease of living will increase, and it also promotes ease of doing business. It should not be taken in a wrong way that we can do anything which we want. There are some punishments, but to promote and encourage businesses, some the unnecessary laws has been taken away under this Jan Vishwas Amendment of Provisions Bill 2023. The next topic is gig workers and gig economy. So, gig workers are the temporary workers for the part-time or a full-time job online. So, anybody who is interested, or who is a job seeker, wanted to do some um, internship, or if a person is free at home and he suddenly wants to do a work, so anybody who is at home can do this gig working. So gig workers are the temporary workers. So almost in India 77 lakh workers are engaged in the gig economy. So Rajasthan has created a platform based gig workers registration and welfare bill 2023. Okay, Rajasthan has created a bill regarding the gig workers. So this bill, the Rajasthan created the bill called platform based gig workers registration and welfare bill of 2023. So the main aim of this thing is to create and maintain a gig workers welfare board and a database for gig workers. So the state, for every state, if this a bill like this will be introduced, then a database, whoever is engaged in the gig working in all those information will be available. So making the regulation also can be done for the gig working as well. So recently a standing committee has asked the Ministry of Labour and Employment to make welfare schemes for the gig workers. So this is about the topic.
Next topic is foreign portfolio investment. So the foreign portfolio investments are the foreign investments on the stocks, bonds and other financial assets. So Foreign Exchange Management Act, that is the FEMA Act of 1999, is the main act that governs the foreign portfolio investment in India. Okay, FEMA Act of 1999 governs the foreign portfolio investment (FPI) in India, and there are other two main acts that regulates the FPIs. That is the Prevention of Money Laundering Act of 2002 and the Prevention of Money Laundering Act of 2005. So these both acts, along with the main act is FEMA Act of 1999. So these three acts, FEMA Act of 1999, Prevention of Money Laundering Act of 2002 and 2005. These three acts regulate the FPIs in India. In the year 2022 to 23, the net foreign portfolio investment (FPI) in India was about 1.65 lakh crores. Okay, that is around 0.6% of GDP. The next topic is corporate debt market. So generally the debt market or the bond market are the same. So the debt markets are of two types. One is government debt market and the second one is corporate debt market. So the bond has some value. If a company or the government is in need of money, then they release the bond. So buying a bond means it is like investing money in something. So we get profit, we get interest rate. So like that, it is like an asset. Okay, so the government will release the bond, then will someone or the other will buy the bond. So if I buy or invest in that bond, I get some profit depending on the value of the bond. So if a corporate or the government is in need of money, then they release a bond. So the bond market is also called the debt market. So this is a main concept that we have to notice. And here the rating is nothing but, so here there will be some international banks. So if one country or a developed country or a developing country will go and ask the bank, the international bank, about some any loan, so these international banks will see the country's credit rating. So the credit rating is nothing but um, the total financial situation study or report of that country. Okay, so that is the credit rating. And yes, the debt market is also called the bond market. So if the corporates want to release any bonds because they are in a need of money, then that is called corporate debt market. And regarding this one, the debt market is of two types: government debt market and the corporate debt market. So if anybody want to buy it, they'll invest. So it is like a financial asset. On the other side, on one side, the corporate companies or the governments will have some financial cycle in their thing. Okay, so SEBI has released a framework regulating this corporate debt market. The next topic is Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Amendment Bill of 2023. So recently, Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Amendment Bill was passed in the year 2023. So to increase the mineral exploration, the licenses are given for private and public sectors. Okay, so generally India is moving towards Atmanirbhar Bharat, so raw materials, especially in terms of electrifying India, is very important. So for that, semiconductors initiative, Atal Innovation, and many other innovations have been taken place to encourage infrastructure, manufacturing, and technology in India. So for that purpose, this is one of the foundational bill. Okay, so the mines and minerals are very important, especially for the critical minerals. So the critical minerals are nothing but which are very important for the economic development and national security. So what in terms of economic development and national security? So for national security, in terms of technology, improving advanced technology, raw materials for new electric products or for new artificial intelligence infrastructure is needed. So for that, raw materials like lithium, all these things are needed. Okay, so this bill will encourage even the private sectors also to especially explore the atomic minerals found in India. Okay, so for that, this bill was introduced. So to improve and increase the mineral exploration, the licenses are given for both private as well as the public sectors. So critical minerals here are very important for economic development. So for exploration and expanding mineral extraction infrastructure in India, this act is needed. So opening in private sector for some atomic minerals was also included. Okay, that is about the topic. The next one is Manrega scheme, that is Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act of 2005. So it is a centrally sponsored scheme. So generally in rural sector, unemployment is very much high. So to decrease the unemployment rate, this scheme was launched. And there are some implementation problems, but it is working out still in 2023 successfully. So many improved technologies has been involved in this. So yes, one important point to remember here is Article 41. Article 41 provides right to work. So all the household members who are more than 18 years and residing in rural areas can do work under the Manrega scheme. Okay, So recently, the authorities introduced the digital attendance, and to curb corruption, Geo Manrega scheme, Manrega is created, and for problem solving, Ombudsman app is created for direct and the salaries. The amount is credited through the direct benefit transfer process for the workers. So all these new innovations have been implemented under this scheme. So recently, this scheme was in use because a parliamentary standing committee means it is a regular committee formed on one or the other topics. So a parliamentary standing committee on the rural development and Panchayat Raj is formed, and it gave a report on the issues of Manrega scheme and also provided some recommendations. So this is about the topic, and the next one is Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. So here, this scheme main objective is to develop the rural and the urban road infrastructure in India. Okay, so this one is launched in uh, three phases. So Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana 1, it was launched in 2000. Next two is launched in 2013, and the third one is launched in 2019. Its main aim is to improve the road connectivity. It was extended two times in 2013 to upgrade road connecting rural routes, and in 2013 to connect roads from rural areas to the basic important places like hospitals, schools, markets, etc. So recently, a parliamentary standing committee on rural development and Panchayati Raj has released a report on this scheme. So as per the report, under the scheme's first initiative, that is PMGSY 1, 96.24% was achieved, and under this PMGSY 2, 97.01% has been achieved. So under this scheme, the road connectivity is also developed for the affected areas under the left wing extremism, that is the Naxal areas. So under this scheme, even in the Naxal areas, that is the left wing extremism areas, are also been developed. So some digital upgradation was also done in this scheme. So to monitor this scheme, online management, monitoring and accounting system was also launched, and the National Rural Infrastructure Development Agency was launched to get the updates of the works done under the scheme. The next topic is National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, NABARD. So NABARD was established in the year 1982 upon the recommendations of B. Sivaraman Committee. It was formed under the NABARD Act of 1981. NABARD means under the National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development Act of 1981. So its main objective is to improve and transform the rural economy by providing loans to the farmers at very low interest rates. So if the farmers are not able to pay the debts, then these banks will provide refinancing. So here the word refinancing is very important. So refinancing means providing loans to pay off the existing debts, that is before the NABARD has given some amount of loan to the farmer, and if there is any type of losses has occurred to that farmer, and if he is unable to pay the taken amount, the banks will refinance him, will again give the loan to clear off the previous loans, and he can keep some amount and improve his agriculture, and he can pay the amount again. Okay, this is called refinancing. So it promotes, this NABARD promotes agriculture, small scale industries, cottage and village industries, handicrafts and other rural crafts. So this NABARD is called as the backbone of the rural economy in India. Okay, it is called as backbone of India's rural economy. The next topic is livestock sector. So livestock sector includes farm animals. This sector contributes to 4.11% of the country's GDP. Okay, so in total agricultural GDP, the share of the livestock sector is 25.6%. So the milk production plays a major role in the economy in the livestock sector. So the milk production under the livestock sector, uh, as per the reports, has increased to 51% from 2014 to the year 2022. So for the development of the livestock sector in India, they have launched the Animal Husbandry Infrastructure Fund. Okay, AHIDF. Okay, so this one was launched to strengthen the livestock sector. So this topic is in news because the Department of Animal Husbandry and Dairying under the Ministry of Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairying has launched the first ever credit guarantee scheme for the livestock sector. So here now let's know about this credit guarantee scheme. So here generally to avail loans, any loans, guarantee is needed. So for the livestock sector, the national rural banks will provide guarantee to avail the loans under this scheme, under the credit guarantee scheme. Okay, so under this credit guarantee scheme, the national banks will provide guarantee to avail loans. So for the livestock sector, for the first time, the credit guarantee scheme for livestock sector was launched. The next topic is pricing of agricultural produce. So due to the low prices of tomatoes in April to May month, many farmers shifted the crop from tomatoes to other crops. So due to high temperatures and sharp rainfall in the northern India, tomatoes yield was low, and in Maharashtra state, the tomatoes were affected with the cucumber mosaic attacks. In Karnataka and other southern states, the tomatoes were affected with the tomato mosaic virus. So let's know the difference between these two. The tomato mosaic virus generally affects tomatoes, tobacco, pepper and other plants, whereas coming to the cucumber mosaic virus, it attacks on cucumber, melons, tomato, carrot, lettuce, cucurbits, all these things. And so these are like the basic seasonal viruses. So these can be countered by the seed treatment, clearing weeds and spraying some quick acting insecticides on the plants. Okay, so due to these reasons, there was a rapid increase in the retail price of the tomatoes. So the tomato generally is a rabi crop in Maharashtra, Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh, and it is in the states like Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh and Maharashtra. The tomatoes are kharif crops. Okay, so it depends on different states. Okay, so the tomato is a kharif and a rabi crop in Maharashtra, remember it. So in Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh, it is a rabi crop, and in Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, it is a kharif crop. Okay, so these are the basic important points of this tomatoes topic. The next topic is the farm mechanization in India. So here the farm mechanization is the usage of machines for agriculture and livestock management. So usage of machines helps the farmers to multiply their productivity. So in India, 47% of farmers use machine equipments, and in China it is 59.5%, in Brazil it is 75%. So to improve the usage of farm mechanization, the government of India has launched some of the initiatives. So they are the submission on agriculture mechanization to encourage the farmers to use and buy agricultural machinery and equipment. So it is launched in the year 2014, and the next sub scheme is the custom hiring centers. So it was set up to provide subsidies on the farm mechanization. Now here farm mechanization means promoting the usage of farm machines. So the next one is in the states of Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Madhya Pradesh. These states government has started providing farm machinery to the farmers at concessional rates. So this is about the topic. The next one is the global regulatory framework for crypto asset activities. So here the cryptocurrency means the digital currency. So unbacked cryptocurrency are the oldest cryptocurrencies. Okay, the unbacked cryptocurrencies are the oldest currencies. So it does not depend on any currency to compare its value. It depends on its market and supply. So Bitcoin is an example, and there is another type of cryptocurrency called stable coins. So the stable coins is it maintains the stable value. So the USD coin, Pax dollar are the examples of stable coins, and many countries have introduced their own digital currencies called the central bank digital currencies. All the central banks of each country will release its central bank digital currency or CBDC. So the international body that monitors the digital currency and global financial systems are called the Financial Stability Board, FSB. So it contains G20 member countries, all the G20 member countries central banks, financial ministers, supervisory authorities, etc. So recently the Financial Stability Board has introduced the regulatory framework for the crypto asset activities to promote consistency and comprehensiveness. So it regulated the stable coins and cryptocurrency but did not regulate any central bank digital currencies. Okay, so this is about the topic. So generally the two important points we have to remember is the unbacked cryptocurrency. It is the oldest currency. It only depends upon its own value based upon the market and supply. Its value will be increasing or decreasing. Okay, Bitcoin is an example of the unbacked cryptocurrency. And the next one is the stable coins. The stable coins is the value for that money, the stable coins will be same, will be constant. So US dollars, Pax dollars are the examples. And here we have another type of currency called the central bank digital currency. The central bank digital currency is for every country's central bank will launch its central bank's digital currency called the CBDCs. So these currencies are not subject to recommendations under these global regulatory framework for cryptocurrency assets. Okay, so the FSB has regulated the unbacked cryptocurrency, the stable coins, but did not include the CBDCs. So all the G20 countries ministers, central bank ministers, supervisory authorities, all of them came together and regulated it. The next topic is the global minimum tax. So there are many multinational companies like Google, Amazon, etc. So generally most of these multinational companies try to not pay the tax in which they are investing, or like if so generally Google, Amazon, all these have the parent companies in the US. So they invest in India, Singapore, Switzerland, all these things. Okay, all these countries. So here when they invest in one country, they actually try to showcase that they are not gaining more profits, and they take all those profits from one country and keep those profits in a country where there is no tax. So like that, most of the taxes have been erased. So tax evasion is nothing but illegally not paying the taxes. So many of these multinational companies have been under the tax evasion. Okay, so to avoid such type of problems, global minimum tax was established. Okay, so before introducing the global minimum tax, many would show no profit or very less profit and would pay very less tax. So globally, to solve this tax evasion problem, they has introduced the global minimum tax. So it counters the illegal ways of not paying taxes. So under the global minimum tax, 15% of the total profits should be paid as a tax. And this topic was in news because all the 138 countries and its jurisdictions, including India, has agreed to implement the global minimum tax deal. Okay, so this is about the topic, and the next one is global survey on digital and sustainable trade facilitation. So here the trade facilitation means regulating and improving trade. Okay, trade facilitation means regulating and improving trade. So under this United Nations Economic Social Commission for Asia Pacific, so this one, a report on the global survey on digital and sustainable trade facilitation has been released. So as per the survey, the score of India has increased from 90.32% in 2021 to 93.55% in the year 2023. So this as per the report, and India has scored better than many developed countries like Canada, UK, Germany, France, etc. So due to the initiatives like Turant Customs, single window interface for facilitation of trade, that is SWIFT, pre-arrival data processing, e-Sanchit, coordinated border, etc., border management, etc. So under many initiatives have been launched by India to encourage and improve trade. So because of these initiatives, India is doing good in the trade. So here the um, Turant Customs here. The Turant Customs provides speedy clearance of the trade relating things, and the transparency will be provided on the imported goods. And under the SWIFT, that is single window interface for facilitation of trade, this SWIFT provides safe and secure financial transactions for its members. And under e-Sanchit provides e-filling of bills of entry. Okay, so due to all these initiatives, India has improved in trade and economy. The next topic is a World of Debt report. So here a World of Debt report is released by the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. So as per the report, the global public debt has increased more than 5 times since 2000. So the public debt of the developing countries is around 30%. Okay, and public debt means the debt taken by the governments of all countries. So globally, for the developing countries only, it is around 30%, and half of the developing countries pay 1.5% of GDP. Okay, from the GDP, from the annual GDP, 1.5% is paid only to the debts, and 6.9% of government revenues are paid as an interest payments, and the interest amount is greater than the money they spend on education and health. So this is very bad thing that we have taken. So this is about the World of Debt report. The next topic is Mahila Samman Saving Certificate. So, Mahila Samman Saving Certificates is a scheme to provide financial security to the young girls, women in India. So, recently the government has permitted all the public and eligible private sector banks to implement these and encourage the Mahila Samman Saving Certificates in 2023. Okay, so this is about the topic. The next topic is twin balance sheet problem. So, the major income of the national bank or the global banks is the interest rate for loans given to the small banks and the companies. Okay, so these two, the small banks and the companies, are the main sources of income for the global banks and the national banks. So when these both companies and small banks do not pay both the loans, do not pay the loans, when these two companies and the small banks do not pay back the loans, then the losses will occur, called the twin balance sheet problem. Okay, so when the two main sources of income, called the small banks and the companies, do not pay back the taken loans, then that situation is called twin balance sheet problem. Okay, so this topic was in news because recently the finance minister stated that the Indian economy has moved away from the twin balance sheet problem. That means the income is the interest rate, the small banks and the companies are paying the interest rates at the proper time period. So here some steps to solve the twin balance sheet problem are given. So there is 4R strategy, that is recognizing the problem of non-performing assets. Non-performing assets means recognizing the companies or the organizations which are not paying back the taken loan. So recognizing. Next is recapitalizing. So if they are unable to, if the banks or the companies are unable to pay the loans back due to the losses, then the banks will again recapitalize so that it can improve in business, and then it gains the capability to pay back the loan amount. So recapitalizing, then resolving their problems, and then reforming them. There is a 4R strategy. And the next one is Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code of 2016. Next is Central Repository of Information on Large Credit. So here the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016 is nothing but this is a bill whereas if any banks or the companies do not pay back the taken amount, then the banks will go to them, will ask for a problem, and if they are seriously in losses, then the banks will help them to by recapitalizing, and it will help to grow their business, involve some other bodies so that their business will be developed, and then they take back the loan. So that is the main thing in this Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016. So the main objective of this act is to reduce the non-performing assets. Okay, the next one is Central Repository of Information on Large Credits. So next is National Asset Reconstruction Company. So these are all the solutions to solve the problems of the twin balance sheet problem. Okay, the next one is Centralized Information Management System. So here the two main things which we have to learn here is the data mining. So data mining is the process of identifying the patterns and relationships that can solve the business problems. And coming to the text mining is a process of deriving high quality information from the texts. Okay, so data mining and text mining are the important words to remember. The next one is statistical analysis. So here this statistical analysis means analyzing and interpreting of data analysis. Okay, RBI has introduced the information management system. So for data mining, text mining, and statistical analysis, RBI has introduced the centralized information management system. The next one is Project Wave. So Wave full form is World of Advanced Virtual Experience. So here Project Wave is an electronic bank guarantee service introduced by the Indian banks in collaboration with the National E-Governance Services. So this is like the e-governance system. So it is like the electronic bank guarantee service. So the service is given virtually. Next is Export Preparedness Index 2022. So here under this topic, the EPI or the Export Preparedness Index 2022 is released by the Niti Aayog. So EPI monitors policy, business ecosystem, export ecosystem, and export performance. So Maharashtra and Karnataka are the top coastal states performers. The top landlocked Himalayan small states are Haryana, Uttarakhand, and Goa. So, as per report, every 99% of the districts are covered under the one district one product scheme. Okay, so only 100 districts are responsible for around 87% of exports. So this is about the EPI report of 2022. So it is launched by the Niti Aayog. The next topic is Production Linked Incentive Scheme 2.0 for IT hardware. So to make the domestic products and manufacturing globally competitive, the PLI scheme was launched in the year 2020. So under the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. So again PLI 2.0 also started to broaden and deepen the IT hardware manufacturing ecosystem in the country. Okay, so the PLI 1 includes 14 components like medical devices, food products, textile products, pharmaceuticals, etc. And the PLI 2.0 includes laptop, tabs, and other IT hardware components. The next topic is Bhumi Samman Awards 2023. So the states which implemented the Digital India Land Records Modernization Program efficiently are ranked and they are given the Bhumi Samman Awards. So the Digital India Land Records Modernization Program is the central sector scheme. It is launched to develop a modern, comprehensive, transparent land record management system. The Ministry of Rural Development has issued this Bhumi Awards. The next topic is Standing Committee on Statistics. So the standing committee is a permanent and a regular committee formed from time to time for any purpose. The standing committee consists of the member of parliament, that is MPs. So recently a standing committee on economic statistics was replaced with the standing committee on statistics. Okay, before it was the standing committee on economic statistics. Now the name was replaced with the standing committee on statistics. Okay, so the main purpose of this standing committee is to review the frameworks and results of all the surveys that are published under the National Statistical Office. Okay, NSO. The next topic is industrial license. So to promote ease of doing business, the Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade has extended the validity of licenses given to the industries. Okay, so before the renewal is for every 3 years, but now it is extended to 15 years. Okay, before the industrial license is only for 3 years validity, and now it has again extended to the 15 years. Okay, that means 15 plus 3 years. So The industrial licenses are issued under the Industries Development and Regulation Act of 1951. Okay, so nothing, the short review of this topic is the industrial licenses has been extended for 15 years to promote ease and doing business. Okay, the next topic is electric freight vehicles. So freight vehicles are those vehicles which transport the goods from one place to another. So the 70% of trade is done through the road transportation in India. Okay, 70% of trade is done through road transportation. That means the petrol expedition is very much high. We use a lot of petrol for the transportation purposes. Okay, so to counter pollution and encourage green initiative transition towards cleaner freight transportation, these electrical freight vehicles are needed. So the industrial leaders are making the initiatives to increase the demand for the electric freight vehicles. So this is about the complete July month economics topic. Thank you for watching.